Hello, dear friends. I'm not an astrologer, nor do I claim to be one, but this is a summary of articles that have been published on the subject, pending future details from professional astrologers. Pluto is the plutocracy. It is to say, the collection of wealthy citizens who exert influence on the state government. Opinion piece. The return of Pluto from February 20th. Its influence would last until 2024. All that has been hidden will be revealed. A financial revolution is predicted. Faith is the substance of things unseen. It will return to the point of US independence. Astrologers predict a great transformation. Could transform the global financial system. Returns to the degree it was at on July 4th, 1776. Let's start. Pluto will return to the exact point where it was at the birth of the United States as an independent nation. Astrologically, it signifies an evolution that could impact the financial sector. In the US chart, Pluto will return to the point it occupied in 1776, the year of the country's founding. The US will experience the first Pluto return in its history, and astrologers predict a major transformation. Pluto's imminent return strongly points to explosive scandals or falls from grace involving prominent people, where they are politicians, celebrities, religious authorities, or business leaders. This astrological event will happen for the first time in this nation's independent history and portends a major transformation. Pluto's return will begin to occur on February 20th and will last until 2024. The now called dwarf planet is the slowest of the stars orbiting our solar system and takes approximately 248 years to complete its cycle. It represents the energy of transformation, the instincts of human nature such as lust, betrayal, secrecy, and power. Pluto's return will transform the banking system or the value of the dollar and could cause a transformation so great that it would involve the entire banking industry. Cobra expects the focus of dark forces to shift from Europe to the US just before February 20th, at the time of Pluto's return to the US, whose influence will last until 2024, and the meditation will be organized for the Los Angeles Baltics. In addition, meditation for peace between Russia and NATO is very necessary. Pluto in Capricorn began in January 2008 and will last until November 2024. The last time Pluto was in Capricorn was from 1762 to 1778. It is easy to identify these years at the time of the American Revolution and the birth of the nation. This upheaval, which led to the creation of the US, is completing its first full cycle in 2023 and 2024, when Pluto returns to the exact degree it was at only on July 4th, 1776. America is experiencing another significant period of upheaval, and there are many stories describing this time as a battle for the soul of the nation. There are numerous makers showing the impact of Pluto on American society. Mythology. Pluto is the god of the underworld in Roman mythology. His equivalent in Greek mythology is Hades, although Pluto is more benign. As for the etymology of the name, it is confused with Pluto, the Greek god of wealth. The Romans placed Pluto not only among the 12 great gods, but also among the 8 chosen gods, who were the only ones allowed to be presented in gold, silver, and ivory. His palace was located in the middle of Tartarus, where as sovereign he watches over the administration of his state and dictates his inflexible laws. His subjects, light and miserable shadows, are as numerous as the waves of the sea and the stars of the firmament. Everything that death harvests on earth falls back under the scepter of this god, increasing his wealth or becoming his prey. From the day he inaugurated his kingdom, not one of his ministers infringed his orders, not one of his subjects attempted a rebellion. Of the three sovereign gods who control the world, he is the only one who need never fear insubordination and disobedience, and whose authority is universally recognized until the end of time. Of all gods, Pluto was the most ruthless and feared by humans, who describe him as inflexible or terrible. He was feared for his ugliness and the harshness of his features. Although he was inflexible, he was considered to be the most just of all the gods, since any mortal being would sooner or later arrive in his kingdom, regardless of class, rank, or place of origin. His representative animals are the three-headed dog Cerberus and 4 black horses. He was later considered as a benefactor god and dispenser of wealth. Pluto is usually depicted with a thick beard and stern air. He often wears his helmet, a gift from the Cyclops, which had the power to render him invisible. Sometimes he is girded on his forehead with a crown of ebony, culantrillo, and narcissus. When he sits on his throne of ebony or sulphur, he carries in his right hand a black scepter, a gallows or a pike. Sometimes he holds keys in his hands to indicate that the gates of life are closed forever for those who come to his kingdom. He is also represented in his chariot drawn by 4 black horses. Welcome the Storm by James O'Brien. For all of us involved in this great drama and great awakening, we had better understand that the plan is unfolding beautifully. Things may be not happening the way we wanted or expected. However, it is perfectly in tune with divine will. We welcome the storm because we are assured of our acceptance of God's guidance as our eternal reign on the way, and with whom we co-create our life. It may not come in the way we might have imagined a year or 3 ago, but it is coming nonetheless. In many ways, it is already here. The decay of the old system, of the old world order, has long since begun. The two systems will exist simultaneously for a period of time, and people can choose which one they will tune into. But ultimately, the new quantum system will replace the old linear system. Watch the old gut as they slowly crumble and fall. Whenever possible, distance yourself from their minds, but don't get attached to the passing of the old. The media will be the last to go, and they will start hedging their bets well in advance. As individuals, none of them want to be seen as the enemy of the people. They simply went where they thought the power was. The same goes for most of Hollywood. There are some who will not be redeemable in this world, the West of the West, but most of them are just variety actors. There are even some true patriots among them. Regardless of what is happening in the media and in the evolving political landscape, You can trust that ultimately it will all be used to good advantage. The biggest lesson is that people need to take back the autonomy of their bodies, as well as their governing bodies and their monetary system. These things are in the cards. The doors to God's theater are closed until we resolve this. Even those who live will witness all of this from the etheric stance. So buckle up, because the best is yet to come. Enjoy the shows means you can actually enjoy this process. It doesn't need to be a forced match. Creativity is a cornerstone of existence. It is also one of our greatest gifts, especially when used in the service of good. It is better to be loved than feared, for love endures, when fear has long since left the stage. Transition. According to James McConnell, this transition will take us into the higher vibrational frequencies and higher dimension. But to do that, you must let go of the past. You must let go of the worries. You must let go of fear. You must let go of anger. All of this must be replaced by the knowledge of oneness, the knowledge of the divine. I am presence within you. I am that which I am. You are all that. And all it takes is the continual increase of frequency within you. Do it consciously every time you find the opportunity. Every time that moment comes to you, find yourself there in those higher frequencies. Get out of stagnation. Get out of depression. And again, get out of worry and fear, because they don't have a place where you are going, or, in many ways, where you already are, but just don't know yet. You don't fully realize that you are already there. No, not fully ascended, but moving rapidly now through that ascension process, because more and more human beings are letting go of the old attachments that would continue to hold them in the three-dimensional illusion. And even just knowing that it is a three-dimensional illusion takes you far ahead of the rest. For, as you have heard many times, you are the guides and trackers of the path, the ones who lead the path by showing the way. But in order to do that for yourselves, you must fully realize that you are already the way, the truth, and the life, just as Yeshua was, just as you all are now. Know that you are the Christ consciousness growing within each and every one of you, growing day by day, moment by moment. You are Christ consciousness. You are the divine I am presence becoming alive within each and every one of you. And the more and more you realize that, then you can fully say that you have arrived. Not arrived at the final station, for there is no final station. There is always the journey. But you are all on that journey to reach a culmination or a kind of crescendo that will help you realize who you really are once and for all. Simplicity. Sometimes it takes great disappointment to understand and appreciate the beauty of simplicity by poet talk. I have always been on a quest for beauty. She is one of the manifest and unmanifest expressions of the Divine Mother, which means we can see it around us, but we can also see it within us. Beauty, harmony, loyalty, intelligence, these are all attributes for the feminine divine. They come into play in a big way in this Aquarian age. She is now on the rise. What we are most deeply and desperately seeking is truly within us. There is an alchemical marriage. It also exists in yogic terms. It is the great work. Once you venture down that path, the process begins. Your spiritual evolution is in a hothouse. Then there is the apocalypse. You add all these streams of thought and feeling, which are the waters of experience and time, coming to the moment that never ends. It's very simple. Don't be foolish. Save oil for your lamps. This is where God's love is key. He sees where your heart is and will replenish your reserve if you missed your love. We have already seen signs of this. Soon it is going to become more and more common, and that is that those in the shadows will have their secret deeds inexplicably revealed to the world at large. An apocalypse encompasses a series of stages in which certain events can take place. We are seeing a part of it all the time because we are in it. It's like video reports during a storm. Still, it is time and it will pass. Apocalypse is one of the key definers used in describing revelation. We are in a time of revelation, and what has been hidden will be revealed. The world goes through phases. Some of them are inexorable. They come like it or not. The world can be a scary place. Of course, there were always those places where it could generally be scary at all times. I have been in those environs. Don't lose your head is probably the best advice I could give you. God is wherever you are. If wherever you are, God is. That is the most important facet of faith. It has been said, faith is the substance of things unseen. Since we think things into being, it is faith that illuminates and waters them. Pleiadian Travel by Michael Labb. Many people will be surprised to discover that they are not alone in the universe. The diversity that exists among us is astounding to outsiders. From the Pleiadian side, meeting us is also frightening because they do not know how we'll react to their arrival. Remember that we are the result of a universal interbreeding. They will go out of their way to meet personally with each of us who respect them. They have come at our request to help us regain our freedom. They will soon be with us. They want to welcome us. This meeting can take place at any time, and well, at the least expected moment, they are here. Now, all systems are in standby mode for the Earth mission. Get ready for acceleration. As we unlock the divine mystery of who and what you really are, you are awakening to the real and wonderful memories of your ancient past. As you raise your frequency, you will find vivid and very real memories flooding your consciousness. Your DNA is your life story, or truth and life that contains the code and blueprint of identity, according to the blueprint of existence, the story of the universe and the story of life on Earth. It is recorded and stored forever in your cells, every detailed memory of your existence in every dimension and in every perceived space and time. And this data can be read and reinterpreted by you as memory. Although with some amnesia, there will come a time in your ascension timeline when you will remember everything that happened in your past, even millions of years ago, and even in much higher dimensions. Furthermore, this includes having memories of events that you did not directly experience. How is this possible? The transmission, reception, recording, and storage of data takes place outside of time and space, and because the entire code is intertwined at the quantum level, all universal memories of all beings are also their memories. In the end, there is only one set of memories. Humankind is not told the whole true story of why it came to Earth. Darkness means hidden in the shadow. If someone does not have all the information, he is in the dark and walks in the dark. Humankind doesn't know what happened in the recent past, let alone millions of years ago, and many of the 4.5 billion star seeds on Earth still do not know what happened. The story of what happened is the light that shines in the darkness. 22 million Earth years ago, our direct ancestors were the first civilization to colonize Vega in the constellation Lyra, which exists in the 12th dimension and is the highest resonance area in this universe. You lived in harmony and perfection in this celestial realm of light, walking among archangels and the heavenly host. In time, our ancestors, the original humanoid population of Vega, expanded and established beautiful settlements on worlds in the Altair and Centaur star systems. While exploring the Ring Nebula, they encountered a lizard-like race from the Draco star system that claimed the nebula for its home, and this is where the galactic wars began. These creatures then attacked many Lyra outposts with exotic weapons and made a major surprise attack on our homeland of Vega. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.